Hello and welcome to the instruction video for how to set up your final draft of the Hipster Animal Project. We are going to be working on brown craft paper. It's 8.5 by 11, same as a piece of printer paper. This is the first item you'll collect. Next, you should get out your lesson guide so you can look at the steps for the final project instructions. To begin, it says select your reference photo. Now remember, you have the option to choose from my provided images, or you can print out a picture for yourself and make sure that your animal has a 4-inch square outline around the image. This can be done in the Microsoft Publisher app or in Word, and you can just place the box directly on top of your animal's face, or you can just print out your animal's face so it's around 4 inches in size, and then you can trace that box onto your printout. We are going to be working with these red 4-inch by 4-inch squares. This is the next item you'll collect, and this is the exact same proportions as the box that's going to be on your animal's face. Now, if you print your own photo, you have the option of printing the face without the box, and then you can trace this onto your printout so that you have this on the animal's face without having to figure out the technology steps. Now, once you have all of these items, you're going to take your box and you're going to be thinking, okay, wherever I draw and trace this box, that's where my animal's face is going to be. So if you are going to have more of your details on the top of your animal's head, say you were working on a really elaborate hat or like a fancy wig or something, then you might want your face to be a little bit lower towards the bottom. But if you don't have any details that are going to be above your animal's face, then you probably want to bump it up a little bit so you'd have more room for the clothing to be filled in. We don't want to leave a ton of empty space up at the top or in any area. So you really need to be thinking about where you would like your animal's face to be placed. Now, in addition to that, we're thinking about the angle that you would like to place it at, because if we have this animal's head and it goes, it kind of gives it a different feeling. It's kind of like a little like a question, or it can be like a more silly, playful posture. You can have the tilt imply that you're like doing something. So maybe this pug would be like shaking the maracas, and it like can have this little like angle so that it's like got these maracas that it's shaking, or maybe it's like dancing, or maybe he's playing a guitar so he needs to be at an angle. So you can place the box wherever you would like the animal's face to be, and then you are going to trace it very carefully, and you're going to go all the way around, and I want you to trace this super lightly onto your final. I did this much too dark, but I want you to be able to see the lines for this demo. Now, I just gave myself what's called the notional box. So we start with our notional box, and you can flip through in your brainstorm or in your lesson guide packet to see all of the steps of bark plate that we did for our practice, and that is where we are going to pick up from our steps that we've already practiced. So we already did our notional box. So the first step is to come in and draw the envelope. Now, when you do that, you're going to draw the envelope on your reference photo first, and then you'll translate it and draw those marks onto your box using our measuring system with your shish kebab sticks. So you would go through and first draw the envelope on your animal in the way that suits it best so that you can draw the basic shape of your animal's face as simply as possible using only straight lines. So I would come in and measure these marks out so that they are in the same location with the same proportions on my drawing. So I would start with the envelope, then I would do the eye lines connecting the top of my eyes and the bottom of my eyes so I can make sure they're in the right location on the face. Then you'll translate that and draw it onto your final draft by copying those measurements with your shish kebab sticks. Next, we go into our top corners, and remember that one of our goals here is to frame in our eyes. We want to know where they start and stop so that we can place them in the exact right location. So I showed myself this is the front of my eye, and you're just kind of seeing with your top corners where you can show yourself more details. And then maybe with the bottom corners, I want to frame in the back of my eye. So I could come in and show myself this is right where the eye stops. And so I would draw these lines in so that I can use that to know, okay, my eyeball is placed in exactly this triangle. Now, once you've gone through and drawn your entire animal's face all the way through, I want you to check it with me before you erase your bark plate lines. That way I can help you add the details that you might be missing before you lose the ability to measure it. So you'll check your face drawing with me. Then after that, you are going to continue, just like we did in our practice, you'll continue into drawing your clothes and coloring in. So our next step is to draw all of the clothing details, and then you're going to erase all of the unnecessary lines and begin coloring using the burnishing technique that we did in our practice. So I want you to keep in mind that we are going for high level of detail. We are going for extreme accuracy on the animal's face. We want to make sure that we incorporate black all the way through to the medium tones, all the way through to the white, to make sure we've got nice contrast throughout our coloring. And our coloring should be completely solid without any little grainy spots left showing through. So those are the things that you are focused on for this project. And I hope that you have so much fun with the creative element of this. I think there's so many ways you could make it something that brings you joy. So I hope that you have the best time creating your final draft. Thanks for watching.